8 December 1941, the Philippines. Only hours after the attack on Pearl Harbor, a flight of Japanese bombers appears over Clark Air Base. The Japanese are able to destroy an invaluable squadron of B-17s and escape almost unscathed. Though Pearl Harbor was the first Japanese attack on the United States, the action in the Philippines is the real beginning of a coordinated attack on American assets in the Pacific. For the next 2 days, Japanese naval aircraft mount hit-and-run attacks on American positions, targeting in particular aircraft and air bases. To General Douglas MacArthur, the Governor-General of the Philippines, it is obvious that the Japanese are preparing to invade the islands. That prospect cannot help but disturb MacArthur, who knows that the American and Philippine forces on the islands are poorly equipped and, in many cases, badly trained. An old Philippine hand, MacArthur feels virtually certain that the invasion will come along the Lingayen Gulf on northern Luzon. On 9 December, however, the Japanese land an expeditionary force at Apari in the extreme north. A second force lands at Vigan in the northwest. The move is intended to draw American forces, limited though they are, away from Lingayen so that the real Japanese invasion will meet less resistance. MacArthur and General Jonathan Wainwright, his most experienced combat general, agree that the landings at Apari and Vigan are diversions and hold their ground. As the days pass and the Japanese continue their relentless bombing attacks, it becomes clear that the Philippines are virtually defenseless. The American High Command, fearing the total destruction of air assets in the Philippines, ordered the surviving bombers to pull back to the safety of Australia. On 12 December, the Japanese land a third force, this at Legazpi on the southeastern end of the island. It seems to many as if this must be the real invasion. Again, the call goes out for reinforcements, and again, MacArthur refuses to bite, ordering his troops at all invasion points to fight and fall back, to delay the Japanese advance, but not risk being cut off. It is not until 10 days later, 22 December, that the main invasion force finally arrives, as predicted, in the Lingayen Gulf. The armada is larger than anyone had expected, 80 Japanese ships dropping anchor and disgorging thousands upon thousands of Japanese troops. Wainwright, the commander at Lingayen, is ordered, like other commanders facing the Japanese on the island, to fight and fall back. The plan is for all American forces to fall back to the Bataan Peninsula, as defensible a region of Luzon as there is. The withdrawal will be tricky. MacArthur puts together an exacting schedule that prevents any forces from being cut off and annihilated. The American defenders, divided by MacArthur into two forces, fight and fall back. After only a few days of fighting, the Japanese forces have linked up and begin to drive down the 40-mile-wide Central Valley toward the Philippine capital of Manila. The largest of the two forces is in the north. The 28,000 men commanded by Wainwright face off against the main body of Japanese troops, led by Lieutenant General Masaharu Homa. The American Southern Force, commanded by Brigadier General Albert Jones, faces off against 10,000 Japanese troops. Homa's armies advance with a ferocity that is pushing Wainwright back well ahead of MacArthur's exacting schedule. Wainwright knows that if he reaches Bataan ahead of schedule, Homa's troops will effectively cut off Jones' escape from the south. Jones abandons Manila after MacArthur, who has spent much of his life in the islands, declares the city open, thus sparing it weeks of devastating bombing and house-to-house fighting. As Jones leaves, the Japanese choose to occupy the city rather than pursuing the retreating Americans. This allows the orderly retreat to continue, virtually guaranteeing that the two American armies will arrive simultaneously at Bataan. What the retreating armies don't know, however, is that in the crucial days of their retreat, virtually no steps have been taken to fortify Bataan. MacArthur, for reasons unknown, has not given the order to dig trenches, prepare artillery emplacements, and cut supply trails. Food and supplies scattered around Luzon, which should have been concentrated behind the American fallback position, are not. As Wainwright, Jones, and their American armies fall back, they don't realize that the safe haven of Bataan may be anything but.